this and shit. This shit can be bad. Let me be quiet. All right, but look, yeah, like I said, the motherfuckers who own the intellectual property and shit like that, right? They create imageries and shit like that with their 5 pillars. So you got your mind trained to think you're going to live that type of life, yet behind closed doors, they're doing these things for real. And you just live in society thinking that what you're doing is normal. And behind closed doors, they're doing these things seriously because we see the fruits that they bear. They've been running the world for the last 2,000 years, laying on their stomachs with their feet in the air while you kick blood, sweat, and tears out of your fucking vessel to get these things that they're laying on their stomachs, kicking their feet in the air on, looking at it like it ain't shit but something that they just created. You know what I'm saying? That y'all worship. Now, look, check this out. So, Tetris and columns is an allegory to the Tower of Babel that you're looking at right now. Also in this motherfucking shit, right? And Rampage, right? Which after we already create that Mario Adam and Eve shit that we start to build and we can't agree on any thought or feeling. And Adam and Eve is the first thought or feeling we couldn't agree on. Eve agreed with the tree, which is the body, and the body got your bones and flesh, got organs on it, the fruit that you manifested, right? And the organs, each organ like cater to a certain desire, because the desires externally are ramifications of our mind also. So each chakra, each mind created a different organ. So as a spirit, you're supposed to be the real god or goddess and jump into each mind and make sure none of these things get calcified. So your chakras don't be dim, they be lit. Now, each of these minds, each of these chakras that you jump into as a spirit produce a different fluid. It bends in on itself and produce a different fluid, a liquid. And that liquid could condense like a fluid and become an organ. This is what we're calling water and stuff like that, right? So for the most part, this is how we're bringing our liquid gold, our internal gold, and shining and manifesting actual gold and being able to find something that another human or yourself find in the world as actual something you want to hold that is gold. You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or form. So keep that in mind. So when we start to talk about, right, our thoughts and our feelings and bringing these things together and having it build and shit like that, when we can't bring these things together, you cannot come to a grips. You cannot come to a conclusion. You be indecisive. So this is you in your internal language being confused. And this is the allegory of Babylon and shit like that, because you can't even build your own brain if you're always indecisive. If your man and woman is always indecisive and you're always took over by your beastly natures, because Eve represents your feelings, the tree represents your body, and the fruit that hang off the tree is your organs. And each organ is going to correlate to a desire in some way, shape, or form, right? Externally. This is why you get horny and your dick get hard or your pussy get wet and your nipples get hard and things of that nature, right? Each organ correlate to a certain desire. When you experience connection, this is what makes your heart Peter Pat. You know what I'm saying? When you connect, when you go through a space up here, and then those chakras up here, the crown chakra and the first eye chakra that bent in on itself and created the frontal lobe. A lot of y'all got uncircumcised frontal lobes, but you know, your temple, your eyeballs, and then your first eye chakra, which is what bent in on itself and created the pineal gland and stuff like that, right? Anytime you're in that space as a spirit and being inside those chakras, and those chakras get juiced up and shit from the external world and shit like that, you end up feeling good about learning things and shit like that. You want to learn more and shit like that. You want to get aroused mentally. Then you want to get aroused emotionally. That's with love. That's your heart space, the Peter Pat connection with others, whether it's hatred or love. Then dick and pussy, you want to get connected with that in some way, shape, or form, based upon you wanting to physically feel. But that's a whole nother video. But like I say, y'all know what I'm talking about. Now, so for the most part, every little allegory that you see of Babylon, right, is going to be based on the witchcraft and the practice that they made you believe. But now, if you're a true occultist and things of that nature, right, you're actually understanding that this is a mental thing, right? So based upon it being a mental thing, right, if you're not able to build on stable ground, then everything that you built is going to be on shaky, rocky, unstable building, aka any business you try to build with others or whatever like that. Your building concept is going to be fraudulent because you don't know how to practice this for yourself. You don't understand that when you're trying to organize, you need your own thoughts and feelings to play their role, and everybody you're trying to put in position to play their role. So don't be fighting over no positions and shit like that. And now when y'all can agree on thoughts and feelings and shit like that, and all egos could go away, that's when something could truly be built. And every card shaped, formed brick, which is what you're supposed to make out of your mind to make that physical, so it don't be just shaped up in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, could be layered all in their position, and we actually have something to stand on, and we can actually go to the heavens, aka all this can go to our heads. And we can sit in the heavens and look at what we motherfucking built, aka whatever prosperous manifestations we get from that, we're able to sit in that based upon looking back, pondering of everything we have built together in this motherfucking shit, aka looking at each layer. And anytime something needs fixing up and shit like that, that's when we start to go down and play maintenance and shit like that. But that's what the Tower of Babylon is actually supposed to do. Now, the shadow government already did that. So for the most part, that's why they run the world and created the law and the signs and the symbols and shit like that, because the world is ran under signs and symbols. Because, you know, you'll have a bunch of people that like to say stupid shit like, oh, this is just too conspiracy theory and things of that nature. Wait a minute. I'm Uriel. We got to make it simple. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. So let me help you understand what I mean when I say the shadow government or the Illuminati. Illuminated. They illuminate you because you don't know how to be enlightened yourself. So you need external references to be enlightened. So that's what it means to be illuminated. So lights could be words, language, thought forms, ideas, right? So for the most part, I tell a person who say I'm a conspiracy theorist, because I ain't that, but I got clear arguments. I tell a person like this, right? So here's the thing. Let me put this down real quick. I tell a person like this, right? So okay, the world is ran. Okay, when you go up the street, what is that thing that prevents you from going? A person is gonna be like oh, what you trying to say? A stop sign? Yeah, a stop sign, right? Okay, what is that? That's a sign, right? So the world is ran under signs and symbols, right? You're gonna be like, yeah, it ain't conspiracy though. It ain't none of that. All right, but so who owned that intellectual property of making that stop sign, that color, and that shape? Somebody had to sit back and agree these is going to be the concept of stop signs that we put everywhere on our roads that we flatten the earth from making streets on. You know what I'm saying? So when I say the world is ran by a shadow government, and when I tell you I'm not a conspiracy theorist because you agree with me that the world is ran by signs and symbols, somebody had to sit back and make these signs and symbols. You don't know who they is. You damn sure ain't had no input on on the street sign. You damn sure ain't had no input on if the light was gonna be green and that means go, and the light was going. You ain't had no fucking input on that. You just go back and follow rules, bitch. So for the most part, I don't care if you want to add on other energies to these people in that position or not. Just think about you and your little household trying to run it, being a business, and think about motherfuckers who run the world trying to run a business. And the shit get deep, bitch. So you throw that little conspiracy word away when you jump on my goddamn channel. We're gonna have a little bit of common sense over here. You know what I'm saying? Real motherfucker shit. You gotta. So the world is ran by signs and symbols. Somebody made these signs and symbols, and you don't know who they is. That's already a cult behind closed doors. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, goddamn it, they can create any kind of sign and symbol the fuck that they want to have your ass think what the fuck you think. And if you want to say it's still any conspiracy theory, they explain to me better that the why the world is fucked up and it's the way it is. If people who actually run the world actually care about another individual and things of that nature, will ever agree to colonies going to war, will ever agree to a fluctuation in gas or anything, will ever agree to making guns for everybody and shit like that. Tell me why is that the case then? If they use the size of symbols against you in some way, shape, or form. So shut your flunked out ass up there, motherfucker. Otherwise, you wouldn't think who you are unless you had that police badge. But other than that, yeah. So keep that in motherfucking mind, right? So witchcraft, so Tetris and columns is an allegory to the Tower of Babylon, which is a mental construct based on thoughts and feelings, not the oral language, the witchcraft practice on you that they made you believe. Now, if we can't agree on any mental, or anything mentally, then this creates a shaky, rocky, unstable building that we can't build on in some way, shape, or form. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes, so if you're not sharp, curved, or fixated in a proper position or whole thing you're trying to build, the whole thing you're trying to build will crumble and fall, just like Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind also. Now we're going to get into motherfucker Sonic.